The views expressed on the KJ Show are solely those of Ken Jarvis and not necessarily those of Verizon Communications or its subsidiaries, KC Jarvis LLC or KCJ Digital Entertainment. And now, the KJ Show.
Hey, bro, get these keys on what don't move my car, man. I'm right in the front, you dig? Don't move my shit, man. Oh, baby, what's your name? Go, girl, it's your birthday. Open wide, on your Thursday. We don't buy no drinks at the bar. Pop champagne, cause we got that roll. Make you say, make you say, pocket full of money, but it look don't jump till I walk inside the door. Bottles of that rose, smelling like Dolce and Gabbana. Shout you the baddest, and to meet you is an honor. La mama, I got a table waiting, what you think about a convo? If you like it, baby, we can take it to the condo. If you like the condo, we can move the party to the bedroom.
Once again, sponsored by Ustream TV, powered by Verizon Fios. This is Fios, this is Big, it's the KJ Show. Another half an hour look into my opinions, my world, my feelings on what's going on in politics, in music, in sports, just about what's going on in life. Let's get started. My first topic of the day, did I have an adventure yesterday? So I'm coming back from the 305 and I'm on my favorite airline, US Air, and the pilot gets on and says that there's a problem with the flaps. So we're going to have to circle. So after about an hour of circling, finally they made the determination that the runway at LaGuardia was too small. So we ended up going to Newark, which is just great, as too bad my car was at LaGuardia. So then after 3 hours after that, when they finally get a bus for us, I finally made it and got my car. But you know what? Any landing that you can walk away from is a good landing. How's everybody doing today? There's so many things going on in the news. I've got to start with some New York sports. And I'm not going to talk about the Yankees, the world champion New York Yankees. And kudos to them. I mean, let's face it, the only reason why they won is because Kate Hudson. A-Rod's wife was the reason why the Yankees have not won since A-Rod came to the Yankees. So I'm happy he got rid of her. I don't care how much it's costing. He has enough money to pay her. Kate Hudson, can you please pay a visit to Madison Square Garden? Because we need you. The Knicks are absolutely horrible. And the reason why they're horrible is because they don't play good defense. And what we need is Kate Hudson in the Garden. I will not even talk about what happened to my beloved New York Giants today. They are horrible also. So, Yankees, you might as well just get up and move because New York is not a good sports town. It's not. The Yankees are the only team that have a commitment to winning. The rest of the teams in New York are horrible. Let me give you my phone number. You see it up there, 718-464-1781. We'll take some live calls like we always do. The email's up at the top, kjshow at kcjarvis.com. Get in. Let me know how you're doing. I noticed the chat room today is kind of small. Nobody's really going crazy like 2 weeks ago when we had the kickoff show. So I'm sure that will kick off also. I would like to say thank you to everyone who participated in the first show. And the first show really was completely beyond my expectations. I just got a BBM. I believe John Shaft might be making another appearance on this show also. So if that's the case, John, give me a call. We'll get you on to see what you're thinking about. As you know, politics is, I'm a huge political junkie. So I need to really just vent on a few issues. And the first one I want to vent on is Mayor Bloomberg. Mayor Bloomberg was by far the better candidate. And I'm not even going to talk about the fact that he has $1 billion. Bill Thompson, as I said last time, is George Jefferson. He has a shag. There's no way in the world I want the mayor of this great city to have a shag to represent us, okay? So I am so happy that Mayor Bloomberg won. What I'm disappointed in is by the amount of votes he won by. Now, let me speak to the African American community who voted for Bill Thompson. This guy is not Barack Obama, okay? And we as a people should never vote for someone just because they're black. Bill Thompson is a buffoon. Bill Thompson was an idiot. And I am very, very upset that the black areas went out and voted for this guy. And the reason why they gave was like, oh, he changed the law to run again because of term limits. That is absolutely ridiculous. We have term limits. If you don't want to vote for the guy, you didn't have to. You could end his term. Okay? Bill Thompson is not Barack Obama. It's unbelievable. 718-464-1781. I see 2 calls on hold. We'll get to you in a little while. I need to continue on some politics. I need to talk about healthcare for a second. Hey, Brenda from campus. Let me talk about healthcare. This really, really disturbs me. Because one, President Obama is not doing a good job getting the message out. And the message is that healthcare costs less than the war in Iraq. There are 50 million Americans who are not covered by healthcare. And the people who say that, oh, our taxes should not go to them, they're already going to them. They're already paying our bills. Has anyone been to a public hospital emergency room? All of those people in the emergency room are people who don't have health insurance. Who guess who ends up paying for them? Us, the people who do. So it makes a lot more sense that we get this healthcare done, get everyone covered. Now you realize what the main issue is, right? Because this is not what you're hearing on the news. And at the KJ Show, we're going to tell you what's really going on. The Republicans get almost $300 million in campaign contributions from the health insurance companies, from the HMOs, from the GMOs, and a whole bunch of other alphabet people too. So the Republicans don't want to stop getting this money. Now, the Democrats also get some money, but not as much. Let's talk about the public option and why people on the Democratic side think that we definitely need the public option. I just did my benefits for next year, and I work for a Fortune 10 company, okay? I work for a huge, huge company. My premiums went up by $300. Now, if there was a public option that would be able to hold the cost down, do you think they'd be able to raise your premiums every year and give you that horrible service? I don't think so. So what the Republicans aren't, they're saying that, oh, it's going to blow up the deficit. Now, guys, I tried to educate you a little bit last week on the Federal Reserve System. Let me give you another 5 minutes on the Fed, okay? The Federal Reserve is a private entity, okay? Just because it's federal in there doesn't mean that it's government run, okay? It's like Federal Express. That's a private company too. But the Federal Reserve is a private entity that is the only entity that's allowed to print money. And guess who they print money for? The government of the United States. Okay? So, when they say, oh, this is going to blow up the deficit, no. The Federal Reserve prints the money. And they print money for the little people like you and me who have green money. They do everything electronically. So, when the government says there's $1 billion deficit, they go to the Federal Reserve and say, hello, Federal Reserve, can you put $1 billion extra in our bank account? So, all they do is add a zero. So when people say, oh, this is going to blow up the economy, no, because it's not real money. It's Federal Reserve money. It's adding zeros. That's the real deal. Healthcare costs less than the war in Iraq. But now what the Republicans are scared of are those 50 million people who are now going to be covered. I wonder who they're going to vote for. They'll probably vote for the people who gave them health care. So that means 50 more votes voting for the Democratic Party. So that's the real reason why Republicans are against health care. You know what? Here's our problem with the current two-party system. Everybody gets paid on wedge issues. And now let me tell you what a wedge issue is. We are forced now to decide 100% of the way we feel on an issue that's about 5%. Let me give you an example. If you get a room full of Democrats in a room, all ages, you get a room, in that room, add half of the room Republican, half the room Democratic. And you ask people, I guarantee you, those people will agree on 80% of the things. Do we want to be safe? Yes. Do we want good health care? Yes. Do we want our kids to do better than we did? Yes. Do we want to eat good? Do we want a nice place to live? Do we want to pay low taxes? Do we want to, I mean, all these things. Every single American, every single person in this world can agree on 80%. And then the wedge issues, which are 20%, really divides us. Let's take a look at one of those examples. Abortion. So you're either for abortion or you're not for abortion. Now that's ridiculous. There is nobody in this world who is for abortion. But they realize that abortions are the choice of the woman and not the government. So that's the difference. People get skewed into wedge issues and they say, oh, I have to decide. NRA, guns. Oh, these people in the South, guns is a way of life for them. All they do is go hunting because they don't have DirecTV or Fios. They don't have anything else. All the women are ugly. I'm sorry if anyone in the South is looking. My only point is things are different somewhere. So let's, wait a second. I think I'm going to run for office. And I'm going to run as an independent. And I am going to get people in a room and we agree on 80% and let's split the difference on the other 20. So you meet me 10, I meet you 10, and this world just becomes a better place. What we need to do is get this health kit now. There's one other issue. We need 60 votes in the Senate for health care legislation to pass. Now, the House finally passed it. It was very close. It was only 5 votes. And I'm not even going to go into there because they only have 2-year terms. They're idiots. The Senate is where things really happen. Now, Lindsey Graham was on TV, senator from South Carolina, was on TV today saying that the health care legislation is dead on arrival because it has the public option. And of course, remember what I just said about the public option and who Lindsey Graham gets his money for. But then you have a rat bastard in the Senate. That's right, I said a rat bastard named Joe Lieberman, senator from Connecticut. Now, Joe, let's be honest. You were a Democrat. Then when the Democrats in Connecticut said, we don't want you anymore, you ran as an independent and won. And now, I'm going to get on our president, President Obama, because what President Obama did, instead of castrating him, instead of getting him off all of the committees, what did he do? He let him stay on the committees. So now, Joe Lieberman says, healthcare is not going to even get out of committee to get into before a vote in the Senate because it's bad for the economy. That's what Joe Lieberman said today. Instead of Joe Lieberman saying, thank you, President Obama, for letting me keep my seat and keeping me stay on all the committees, I owe you one. No, he's being a rat bastard now. So what I want you to do, go Google his name. I want you to call his office and tell him, Ken Jarvis said you're a rat bastard, okay? Because you've turned your back on your friends. And you won't even let it come up for a vote because then you're exposed. Because then you're going to have to vote for it or against it. You know what? I can't stand this man. I can't stand people like that. Speaking of some other people that I can't stand, has anyone seen this whole Rihanna, Chris Brown situation? Now look, let it be said right now that I definitely don't condone beating up women. And Chris Brown, you beat up probably one of the top 3 hottest chicks in the music business right now. Actually, she may be number 1 because Beyonce, Taylor Swift, if you like that kind, Rihanna. So Chris, you beat up the best looking girl. You could have beaten up Trina. You could have beaten up some of those Danity Kane chicks. You definitely could have beat up some of those Dirty Money chicks. But you beat up one of the hottest chicks in the game. Now, what's baffling to me, not only did you get yoked up, I mean, if you're on TMZ and you look like you got beat up by Mike Tyson, should you go back to that guy? I don't think so. Now, let me tell you something. That new Transformer song is hot. And Chris, I got to give you that. But Chris, your career is over. And let me tell you why your career is over. Especially as a recession has hit. Sure, you're going to have 25% of the women who have jobs, who can afford the Ticketmaster fees. They're going to go out and they're still going to support you. But have you been to a concert recently? Have you been to an R&B or rap concert in New York recently? There are very, very few African Americans at these events. Okay? I was just at the Jay-Z concert. I was just at a few other concerts, which I'm ashamed to say I was at. So I won't tell you about it and tell you who was there. But they're all little white suburban girls. And Chris, guess what? Becky does not have a job. Becky gets her money from mommy. And mommy watches 2020 and Larry King. So do you think Becky's gonna go to mommy and say, Mommy, I need money to go see Chris Brown so he can transform you, It's not gonna happen. So Chris, your career is over. If you had beat up Trina or those Dirty Money broads or that don't be tardy for the party. Oh no, she could use a beating. No offense to my female viewers here. But really, and now the controversy shifts to her because she goes on 2020 and does an interview. Now, guys, I don't know about you, but I cannot stand, what's that woman? Diane Sawyer. So, she's like she's making love to the camera. Here she is. So, Rihanna, after he pulverized you, did you listen to his music on your iPod? Did you? She's making love to the camera. I hate that. I cannot stand Diane Sawyer. But now, Rihanna, you know how these coconut women are. And when I say coconut, I mean that lovingly, because I am a coconut also. But we know those coconut women wild out and go crazy. And the reason why she said she was persisting to ask who had texted him. Now, Chris, your game is raggedy. You're in the car and you get a text message and you check it? No, you put it on silent, and when she's either sleeping or in the bathroom or practicing or looking for her umbrella, Ella A, then you go and you see who's texting you. And what you should say is, oh, that's Cliff texting me. Oh, that's not the next chick texting me. Chris, I know you got famous when you were young, but use common sense. So, if you didn't get that text message and was stupid enough to check it and stupid enough to confess that it was the next chick, then you decide you want to beat her up. I think that's crazy. So a text message really ended your career. But wait, I could not believe the number of women who are now anti-Rihanna because she went on 2020. It's just baffling to me. I just cannot understand how many women get beat up or are in abusive relationships. You know what they said on 2020? It was 600,000 women. Now, I find that hard to believe because every woman I've been, well, I won't say that they've been abusing me, but it's true. Only kidding. That's just a jab at any of my ex-girlfriends watching the KJ show today. But really, and I feel sorry for those 500,000, those 600,000 women who are currently getting beaten up. And I would definitely not condone that. Although women do kind of get on your nerves sometimes. And you do kind of want to just give them lefts, right, and straights and uppercuts. But you can't. You can't. And men, you should know better. You should know better. What song is that? Anyway. So look. Women. Rihanna is the victim here. She is the victim. So obviously, she did say some crazy things. Obviously, she may have deserved it. May have. This new song, Russian Roulette song, is horrible. Uh-oh, here's a real stat. Half of women are abused, physically, sexually, emotionally by their mates. Half of women? Okay, Spellman 90. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a personal question. Which half are you? Are you in the half that's abused physically? And I don't believe it's half. I don't believe half women are. Half of women may be verbally abused by men, but that's only abused by men who have very small genitalia, so they can't control their women, and they probably have been wilding out too. But what's the source of your facts, Spellman 90? You know what, Spellman 90? Call me up, 718-464-1781. 718-464-1781. We're going to knock John Shaft off the agenda today. We need to get into this abuse. Now, I know maybe some young women are getting abused because they don't know any better and they come from broken homes. That's probably not fair to say that they come from broken homes. But look, none of my friends are being abused. They may be verbally abused, but that's okay because they're verbally abusing back. You know you're mugging me? Say you're mugging back? Only kidding. Anyway, Spellman 90. Call me up, 718. The Center for Domestic... Oh, is that the source of your... You know what? I need to stop joking around. We need to turn this into a very, very serious topic here on abuse. Spellman 90, call me up, 718-464-1781. We won't use your real name. Are you going to... Have you been abused? How many of the female viewers in the KJ show... In 1996, 1.8 million women suffered assaults from their husbands, boyfriends, but 2 million men are assaulted by... Wow. Wow. Somebody... What? You know what? Butter P, come on. Where are you pulling these stats from? There are no African, one half, okay, I got it. Spanish women are being abused. And since Hispanics are the lowest growing group, that's why these statistics are flawed. African American women, these ones who watch Oprah and have jobs, are not getting abused. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that they're getting abused. Maybe Becky is getting abused because she has a big mandingo black boyfriend, but the normal people, the people are in stable relationships, those women are not getting abused. I don't care what these say. Spanish women are getting abused, mostly in South America, and that's just the way they're socialized. So, I mean, they probably grow up with that abuse because their mothers were abused, but they sure do know how to make those good beans and rice. And some duros. And some, what's that other stuff? Pernil. I'm only kidding. And I was going to get serious there, and I went off on a tangent. But really, I need to do some research on abuse. And that's what I promised, because that's what the KJ show is about. It's about hearing what the people want to hear about and getting to the bottom of it. So I, Ken Jarvis, stand here today that on the next show, in 2 weeks' time, I'm going to have abuse victims here live in the studio. And I need a doc. Actually, one of my very good friends, Dr. David Gill. He's like Dr. Phil. I'm going to have him in the studio too. We're going to get to the bottom of this abuse situation. Because these statistics, one half of women are abused. You know what? What's the definition of abuse? Is it, honey, I told you to get my suit out the cleaners and you didn't, so I'm going to give you a little mouth? Or is it, because I don't see women at work with scars. I don't see women coming to work with black eyes. I don't see women on the Long Island Railroad with black eyes. Summertime just came. Everybody had tank tops on. You didn't see any of them abused? I just don't, I don't know where these, I don't know what the source of these statistics are. And to say that I'd be surprised, I'm not surprised. Because I will tell you, in New York City, half of the women, so it's verbal abuse. Spellman 90, are you telling me it's verbal abuse or is it physical abuse? Because Butter P and Spellman 90, I need some help here. I need some source data to look at so we can get to the bottom of abuse. And as you know, this show is not for children. So any underage teenage girls, please turn this off. This show is not for you. Go back to the Kardashians, okay? I think it's the wedding episode tonight with that big gory Becky. Anyway, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I am going to find the abuse statistics. I'm going to break them out not only by demographic, I'm going to break them out by geography for you. And Ken Jarvis will report back to this group. No, wait a second. Wait. Verbal abuse is not abuse. Because every woman that I know, who whenever I've said anything slick to them, they've come back and said something slick to me. So that's not abuse. That's just banter. That's just the normal give and take in a relationship. And you know what? If I don't like how your hair looks, and I say, honey, your hair looks like shit, that's not abuse either. Or if you burn the pot roast, or you had some nasty short ribs that you tried to give me, or some potato salad with olives in it, I'm only kidding. Here's another statistic for you, ladies and gentlemen. 1 in every 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lifetime. And an estimate 1.3 million women are victims of physical assault by an improper partner. Now, wait a second. Wait. You're not going to bring up the whole date rape issue, right? Because there are plenty of women date raping men right now. Yes, I've seen it. 17 Below, Mocha, Hudson River Cafe, Sofritos, dun 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 dun. Now we're getting to the bottom of it. Because now we're going to see some facts by demographic. So white women, Becky, is abused 5% of the time, which means 95% of the time she's not. And African American women, but wait a second. Wait. How many times has a census person come to your door and knocked on it and said, hi, can you tell me your name, your demographic, and are you abused? What's the source of this data? This is unbelievable. Women now, as usual, are just trying to take over everything and throw meaningless statistics here. It is impossible that in this time, so many women are being abused. It's impossible because there's so much help out there. There's so much help. Why don't they call up all these hotlines? There's tons of hotlines. Girl, he's abusing me. Come on. You call your friends up and be like, girl, you know what he did? Everybody has a roughneck, rugged lesbian friend. No offense. This is not about sex. This is not about sexual preference. This is just about big women who can handle their business. And you know what? Everybody has a sister too. So if you tell your sister, girl, he beats me. Now, we're talking about shelters now? What is going on here? The rape and domestic violence shelters across the country? To anyone? Okay, so you know what? Let's just play the numbers. So how many women? It's time for a viewer poll. Let's get this poll. And this is only for my women. Have you been abused or date raped? Yes or no? Let's do the poll. Let's do the poll. Let's see what the results. Okay. Overwhelmingly, the response. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, wow. So as the results come in, I get the instant feedback here, and I'm seeing now I'm overwhelmed. And I want to say that I am completely sorry. Because what my polling has just showed, that 70% of the women on the KJ show who are viewing the KJ show right now have been abused and date raped. So I am clearly not in touch with this issue. And I promise my viewers that I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Whoa. Bisexual men experience abuse too? Wait a second here. So now the download people, what? 50% of lesbians are abused also? We need to get to the bottom of this. We've got to do more. Because really, yes, look, I'm not condoning physical abuse. Sexual abuse? What is sexual abuse? I don't understand what that is. If in the course of a relationship, there are times that, well, I won't even go there because this is now turned into a serious issue. So what I plan to do is get to the bottom of this issue and report back on my next show my findings. Because this is more than I thought right now, and to be perfectly honest, I'm a little touched that abuse is so rampant in the course of relationships. So Ken Jarvis will get to the bottom of this. Looking at my time, ladies and gentlemen, the half an hour's up. And this is a 1 half-an-hour show. This is a delve into my world, into my mind, and how I think. And today, I've been taught a very, very powerful lesson. That I am not in touch with abuse, and that abuse is very prevalent. So I am going to go back. I'm going to get you the real story and report back on the next KJ show in 2 weeks. But before I go, let me say thank you to everyone who has participated in this show once again, making this successful. And let me say, especially to those that said it couldn't be done, at this time, at this moment, and at this place, change has come to Sundays. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see you in 2 weeks.